This might be the easiest way to feed the whole lake crew. No smoker required. Hey, welcome back to Smokin and Drinkin. I'm Mike. And as you can see, we're back out at the lake again. Sun's shining. It's a beautiful day. It's a little bit windy, but that's Kansas. Today, we're making a whiskey-glazed pulled pork. We have a whole crew that we're wanting to feed, and it's a pretty big pork shoulder. We are going to use half of it for our friends out here at the lake, and the other half, I've got a friend who's going through some health issues right now. We're gonna save that other half and take it back to him and help out while he's recuperating. So let's get started. Like I said, it's a whiskey glazed pulled pork. We're out at the lake. We don't have our pellet smoker here, but we have our Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Grill, and it does have a smoke feature. We've used it before, but I've not made a pulled pork. So we're going to give this a try. We're going to be using apple pellets, and we've got our ThermoPro temp monitor here, so we can keep track of the temperature, the internal temp. And it's a simple rub, just using Traeger Perfect Pork Rub. That's brown sugar, paprika, and other spices. I've used that before. It's pretty good. And of course, we're using just plain old yellow mustard as our binder. So let's get started. We're going to get this seasoned up, and then we're going to get it on the smoker. All right, before we get too messy here, let's get our Ninja Woodfire Outdoor Grill loaded up and started. And our little handy cup here for putting our pellets in. All right, and then we're going to set our smoker, our Ninja Grill, on the smoker feature, 225 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to set this for we're going to go 5 hours. Let's go ahead and put it at 6. So let's get started. And like I said, we're using plain old yellow mustard as our binder. This just helps that's probably more than enough. It helps the rub stick to the pork butt, and that is definitely more than enough. Just need to flip this over. There we go. And there's a pretty good fat cap on there. It's not real heavy. I'm going to leave it on. I like to leave it on there. That fat helps with the flavor. And I usually leave it on there. You can trim some off if you want. All right. Half of this is going to go in the wind. These caps, they just cause more trouble than they're worth. Just going to do it this way. Then we'll get a lot on there. Yep. The wind likes the seasoning. You want to get a good, generous amount of the rub on. This is a bone-in. Like I said, it's a 6-pound bone-in pork shoulder or pork butt, and we want to feed a lot of people, so we needed to go heavy on the pork. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to just let that sit and marinate for about 10 minutes. This is going to take a little while for those pellets to ignite, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, our smoker, our Ninja, is up to 225. It is smoking, and our pork butt has been marinating in the rub. Let's go ahead and get it on the Ninja here. Stand up to do this. Put that baby right in the center. All right, and then we got to get our temperature probe in there. You want to make sure you don't get into that bone, or else you will have a false reading on your temps. Get that closed. We're just going to monitor that. This ThermoPro dual probe monitor is pretty nice. It allows you to have two probes. You can do two different cooks, two different meats, or you can use, sometimes I use it to help monitor the temperature of the smoker. Sometimes those, especially on the pellet smokers, they fluctuate a little bit. So sometimes I'll put the second probe in there just to monitor the inside temperature of the smoker. But today we're just using the one probe. The Ninjas keep a pretty constant temperature, so we're gonna let this go. Probably gonna take a couple hours, 2-3 hours. We want to get our internal temp up to about 165, and then we'll get it off of the smoker and wrap it in tin foil and put it back on. Our target temperature for that internal temp is 205 degrees, 203 to 205 degrees. So that'll probably take 4 or 5 hours, I would imagine. So we check back in a little bit. Okay, we are at 162. That's pretty close. We were shooting for 165. That's close enough. We're going to get it out of the Ninja, and we're going to wrap it with some tin foil, and we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of butter and a little bit of our apple juice that we've been spritzing with. So let's get this off of here. Okay. All right, let's get this off of here, and we will. Oh wow, that looks nice. That's got a nice bark going on it. Oh boy, look at that. That is pretty nice, crispy bark, just like we want. And we're gonna just fold up our sides a little bit. Well, I had a nice seam going on this foil, but it kind of came undone here. That's all right. Move our butter off to the side. Just gonna wrap this up real nice. Oops. Got our apple juice. It's actually apple juice and apple cider mixture. It's kind of 1-to-1. We've been spritzing with that every hour or so. We're just going to put about 3 tablespoons in there. That's all. Not a lot, but okay. There we go. It's been right at 3.5 hours that this has been cooking. So we're going to put our probe back in there. And let this go for another. I'll push my foil down a little bit. This is kind of sticking out too far too. There we go. There we go. Let that go probably another couple hours. We want to get this up to about 203 to 205. We'll let that go, and we'll be back a couple hours for me, just a couple minutes for you, 30 seconds or so. All right. While we're waiting for the pork to finish, get up to 205. We're about 181 now. We're going to go ahead and make our maple whiskey glaze. And it's very simple. It's maple syrup, bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey, Knob Creek, and a little bit of barbecue sauce, and a couple tablespoons of butter. So let's go ahead and start with our butter, since it's getting nice and soft out here in the beautiful Kansas sun. And then let's see, we need half a cup of maple syrup. You want to use pure maple syrup, just that much better. Half a cup of maple syrup. And that'll attract the flies. And we want a quarter cup of our bourbon whiskey. Love Knob Creek. Alright. And then we need a tablespoon of barbecue sauce. Tablespoon of barbecue sauce. And then we're going to simmer this on medium heat for, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. We just want to get it thicken up a little bit. This is what we're going to add after when we pull the pork. We're going to add this into that, and it's going to give it a nice sweet bourbon whiskey flavor. We also need just a pinch of salt. That's about a pinch. All right, so I'll go and get this on the stove, and we'll simmer that for about 10-15 minutes, just till it starts to thicken up. I'm not in too big of a hurry. We got a little time yet. Probably started too early, but we're at 182. We're getting close. Anyway, won't hurt it to simmer, but we'll be back shortly. All right, we hit 203 degrees internal temperature on the pork butt, and we're ready to pull it off and get it in the ice chest to rest. Probably let it rest about 30 minutes. So let's get that off of there and get it to resting. Smells delicious. Can't wait to tear into it. All right, we're just gonna drop that right into this almost too small ice chest. Lid on it, and we're gonna just let that sit. I'm gonna sit down here. Let that sit for about 30 minutes. Let it rest, and turn that off. While we're waiting for that to rest, I'm gonna go ahead and make a cocktail. Bet you thought I forgot about that, didn't you? No. If you caught the video last week, we were out at the lake then, and we made campfire burgers, campfire smoked burgers, and we had a cocktail. It was bourbon lemonade is what it was. We're doing kind of a variation on theme. We're going to do maple bourbon lemonade this time. We're at Maple Bourbon whiskey. Forgot my glass. Also had to put the glaze in the fridge. I started a little too early. We had a stall on the pork butt. It stalled out pretty hard at about 185 for about an hour. That was a little unexpected. Sometimes that happens with the bigger meats like your pork butts and your briskets and things like that. You just got to wait it out. So we played cards and had cocktails. So anyway, let's get on. Speaking of cocktails, like I said, we're going to have a maple bourbon lemonade, and it's just Knob Creek and some maple syrup. Remember, we had maple syrup in the glaze, so that's going to match nice. And we got our lemon slices here. I took a slice out earlier, but and then some club soda. So let's get into this. And I forgot my jigger again, but that's okay. We can eyeball this. So it's, the recipe is about 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, and that's about 2 ounces right there. And then we need an ounce of maple syrup. 1 ounce is about 2 tablespoons. So I guess I could have done that for the bourbon too, but we're going to add 2 tablespoons or 1 fluid ounce of maple syrup. Oh boy, I can tell already that's going to be delicious. And then get something to put this on. I don't know why my tablecloth's already terribly messy. Put that right there. Okay, and then we're going to put our, it's about an ounce of lemon juice, which is about 1 whole lemon. So go ahead and squeeze our lemon in there. Should have taken a slice off for the garnish. You gotta have a garnish. Can't do a cocktail without a garnish. You know what? We have a garnish. We don't need the lemon wheel. You could put a lemon wheel on there. Some people actually would smoke the lemon. That's always good too. Kind of add to that smoked flavor of the pulled pork. We're gonna garnish this with, oh, I got a seed in there. That's okay. It'll sink to the bottom. We're gonna garnish this with a rosemary sprig. That rosemary adds some nice aromatics to the lemony maple flavor. Waited with that. I need to add, it's in. And you want to add some club soda just to taste, however much you want to add in there. I'm not going to add a whole lot, maybe about an ounce. It should be about right. All right, we got our rosemary in there. It's supposed to stick up so you can see it, right? But I messed up and threw it in there late. Oh well. Let's give this a little stir if we can with our, I'm just really, I'm kind of like a fish out of water here. I haven't gotten used to being at the lake yet. Well, it's going to be a layered drink the way it looks. The maple syrup's on the bottom. That's okay. We're not going to have this just yet. This is our pairing to go with our pork butt. So we're going to wait while that rests. I'm going to have a little sip just because. Ooh, that's tart. The lemon actually definitely comes forward on that. I'm gonna have to get a spoon and get that maple syrup in there. You can taste it, but I need to get that mixed up in there. So we're gonna set that aside and wait till our pork butt is ready, and then we'll have that with our final tasting. So we'll be back, and I'll be about 20 minutes for me and just a second for you. Oh boy. Remember when, before we wrapped it, it had a nice bark on it. Oh yeah, bark is still there. Oh yeah, a little bit tender so we can pull easier. Let's get this out where you can see it. Yeah, that looks perfect. Put that in there. All right. That for the bone, whatever else we might take out of there. We're just going to go ahead and pull that bone out. Oh, yes. All right, and then we're gonna got our glaze simmering, and we're gonna pull this. Then we're gonna pour the glaze on. So let's just tear into it here, and literally. Oh, smells wonderful. Oh, nice and tender. There's just a faint hint of a smoke ring, but you know what? With the Ninja, you don't get that. It's not a smoker, really. I mean, it does smoking, and it does a great job. There will be a smoke flavor to it, but you just don't get that smoke ring, and that's okay. But and we're just going to tear it up here with our hands. It's so tender, it just shreds beautifully. I'll move some of that over here. Don't waste any, Mike. I'll get this shredded up and then get back here with the glaze. Just a minute. Okay, so now we're gonna leave it all in one pan. We're gonna add our glaze, mix it up real good, and then we'll divide it up into two pans here. But let's get our glaze in there. That kind of cooked down a little bit, got a little bit thick, but not too thick. That's okay. We kind of cooked off. The alcohol cooks off, in case you're wondering about or worrying about having the alcohol in there. That pretty well cooks off. Just leaves the oaky flavor of the whiskey. Yeah, our maple whiskey glaze turned out real nice. Smells wonderful. And then we're gonna get back in there with our hands and just mix that in there real good. Oh boy, that really adds an aroma to it. That, I mean, the pork smelled great like it is, but now, oh man, it's got the sweet oaky smell to it with the maple. You know, that maple syrup in there. A little bit of butter. That butter's gonna come through nice too. All right, there we go. I'll set this aside for a minute. We'll come back to that. That look wonderful or what? All right, let me get these gloves off. I'll be right back. Oh boy, I can't wait to get into this. I'm gonna eat with my hands here, but you know, like I said, it's got that sweet maple aroma to it, a little bit of an oaky aroma from the bourbon, and we smoked it with apple pellets. I'm looking forward to seeing if there's some apple, hint of apple there. But enough talking, let's get into this piece right here. What do I always say? Wow. That, oh man, you know, you just can't beat pulled pork. It's kind of like the duct tape of the cooking world. I mean, just it's not hard to do, just takes some time, but wow, that is good. It really does have that maple sweetness to it, and there is, you know, I don't know if it's the bourbon or the apple wood, but there is a little bit of a smoky hint to it. Oh boy, speaking of bourbon, let's try the Maple Bourbon Lemonade. I did get a lemon slice, by the way. Yep, that just matches up perfectly. Once again, a good pairing. The bourbon with the maple whiskey glaze, they pair nicely together. The lemon, the citrus, kind of cuts through a little bit of the grease of the fat a little bit, and of course we've talked about it before, the aromatics of the rosemary. You know, your rosemary. A lot of our taste is tied to the sense of smell and our olfactory, and it just pairs real nice together. I gotta get another bite. This is, get some of this wood bark on there. Wow. It was definitely worth the wait. It took about 10 hours, but you know, I had an hour and a half stall in there, but oh boy, it was definitely worth the wait. So that about does it for the maple whiskey glazed pulled pork. with the Maple Whiskey Lemonade as a pairing. I want to thank you all for joining once again, and if you like this video, hit that like button and remember to subscribe. It really does help us out and help us bring new videos to you every week. And speaking of new videos every week, every Sunday morning we bring a new video, so if you want to be reminded of that or notified of that, hit that notification bell and you'll get notified when we drop our new videos. As always, Prost! Wow. Mm-hmm.